Shalom, shalom. Welcome to Supporting YAH's Cornerstone. My name is YAH, which means moved by YAH. This video will be a part 2 to the first mind building video where I talked to you about the importance of mind building and gave you the first tip, which is making YAH and YAH's word the foundation of your mind building. And a part of what can help you to do that is meditating on YAH's word, meaning thinking on YAH's word every day throughout the day, especially as it pertains to things Yahweh might be working with you on in your character or challenges you may be going through. Journaling can really help you in that. I started journaling years ago when I was about maybe 11 or 12 years old, which at that time, really I was trying to start keeping a diary. But I remember that my mother said that never write things that you wouldn't want someone else to read. So at that point, I kind of stopped keeping a diary per se and more started keeping the journal that I keep now. Except through the years before I started to live for Yahweh, it was mostly filled with poems of how I was feeling that day or issues that may have been on my mind. After I started to live for Yahweh, it included those same things plus scriptures that I wanted to remember or to be able to refer to quickly, especially if it was something dealing with something the Creator was dealing with me on in my character or issues or challenges I was having at the time. So I think it would be very helpful to you if you keep a journal on a if you already keep some type of journaling or notes on a device like a computer or a phone, I would suggest that you still keep a physical journal. The journal does not have to be a journal. It can be any size notebook that you want or anything with blank pages that you will want to use that you can kind of put your hands on rather quickly. If you choose a large journal, you can take it with you by just purchasing maybe a small bag from maybe Dollar Tree or somewhere like that, that you can have your purse and have a separate bag for your notebook or journal. Or if you get a smaller one, you could even keep it in your purse or your backpack if you carry that. But just make it something that's convenient for you, and also something that's easy for you to read. If you like larger writing, then you want to consider that when you choosing whatever you're going to use for your journal. Excuse me as I look down at my notes sometimes too. As I said before, journaling is something I've done for many years. I include scriptures concerning like having faith in Yahweh. I've included scriptures over the years about speaking and not saying things you shouldn't. I've included things that would kind of help me in having overall righteous thinking. Also, in my journal, I include things that I've heard people say that was something thoughtful that I wanted to remember. I've also included in my journal over the years things I've read in books that I wanted to remember too. But right now, I want your main focus to be being sure to record scriptures. This is going to help you to begin to recall Yah's word throughout the day. It's going to help with your memory of it. And it's going to help you, especially when you write scriptures pertaining to things you might be working on. Yah may be working with you right now on anger issues or on how you speak to people or whatever the case may be. Or overall how a woman should conduct herself, or Yah's expectations of a woman is maybe some things that you may need to reflect back on throughout the day too. So you want to include just whatever you want to start with, whatever it is that you have need of and encouragement in, and things like that in your journal. I would also encourage you, in whatever size or whatever type of journal that you choose, to include a faith page. That's just where you pick one page, you write faith on the top of it, and have scriptures pertaining to faith. I will try to do a separate video this week, not of me talking, but of scriptures, like a slideshow of scriptures that you can include on that page pertaining to faith. So if Yah's will, I will try to do that, and if Yah's will, upload that this week to kind of help you out on that. But on your own, if you have a concordance, you can look up the word faith and kind of go through and choose scriptures that you might, want to include on that page. You can also maybe Google the word faith and see what comes up, and pick and choose that way too, to start a faith page in your journal. And I know today a lot of us are experiencing loss of loved ones. We're experiencing loss of friends and family due to illness, due to other things. There's a lot going on at this time. And there will be a lot of challenges and things happening in the future too. Not just in your life per se, but things going on around you. And a lot of times that can work on our faith in the Creator. So it will help you, as soon as you can, start to keep record of scriptures concerning faith. Having faith and in the Creator, Yahweh. So today I'm going to share with you 3 of the journals that I have. It wasn't my intention to end up with 3 journals. I just so happened to, since 2011, I just so happened to end up writing in 3 separate journals. And so I'll be sharing those 3 journals with you today, and some of the things that I've written in them. What I'm going to do today, just for convenience, is to hold my journals up to the camera. So hopefully it shows up well, and hopefully in the future when I'm sharing something, I have a better setup and a better way to do it. So just bear with me. So the first journal is this one. I've had it a long time, so it's kind of a little worn. And it's just a regular composition journal that you can find in the school supplies section in Walmart and other places. And so you can see here that I started writing in this journal September 2nd, 2011. And so sometimes you'll see a separate date on the side, and that is just the Hebrew date at that time. And we started counting the years a while back, so we could prepare to try to keep the year of Jubilee. So the year is a reflection of the Hebrew year we started to count on our own. But so those are the 2 dates if you see the separate date. But the date that for the calendar we commonly use is right here. So I started keeping this September of 2011. So you can see here that I recorded September 17th, 2011. It looks like Psalms 19 and 14 that I recorded that scripture. And it says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yah, my strength and my redeemer." I recorded in this journal too, the Sabbath reading that when my children were smaller, we used to read every Friday evening to help prepare us for keeping the Sabbath. So those are all scriptures pertaining to the Sabbath. And I wrote that in my journal. On the opposite page, I have written Proverbs 9 and 10, as you can see, and Proverbs 29 and 25. It says, Proverbs 9 and 10, it says, the fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. And Proverbs 29 and 25 says, the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in Yah shall be safe. And I also wrote in my journal the definition of the word snare. Snare meaning anything dangerous, risky that tempts or attracts. So it's good too, like if you write a scripture in your journal, if it's a word that you want to understand more or that you need to understand more, is to go ahead and look that word up and include that in your journal too. So next, a few pages down from that, I have some more scriptures that I wrote in this journal years ago. Joshua 1 and 9, Sirach from the Apocryphy 27, 11 through 15, and Proverbs 14 and 7, and Proverbs 10 and 18. And Joshua 1 and 9 says, have not I commanded thee, be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for Yah thy ruler is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. And in Sirach 27, 11 through 15, it says, limit your time with stupid people, but among thoughtful people linger. Proverbs 14 and 7 says, go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. And so those are a few of the scriptures I had written on that page. So a little further down, you can see that I made this journal entry July 16th, 2016. And this date is just the Hebrew date I recorded at the time. So, and I put this was the meditation our Moray gave us at the time. So that was meditation 24. And I must have decided to just write it in the journal. But this is one of the journals that I don't have a lot of pages left in this journal. See, it's about, I'll show you. So this journal comes, so far I started writing this in this journal in 2011, and one of my last journal entries in here was 2017. So this has lasted a long time, and I still have a few empty pages in there. The next journal I'm going to share with you is a journal my daughter bought me years ago. She's 21 now, but she bought this in, we'll see in a minute because I put the date in here. But it was just, for the most part, a blank journal. She bought it from the library book sale in our local area. So she gave me this journal September 2nd, 2015. And it says occasion. There was no occasion. It was just a regular day. So I've had this one and started recording. Hold on one second. So that's when that one started. Okay. So on one page in this journal, I have it labeled who to keep company with. And I took notes pertaining to that topic, who to keep company with. I labeled it that. Yeah, because I guess I labeled it that because I do have a scripture on here pertaining to that. But one of the scriptures I recorded was, if you are willing, my child, you can be disciplined. Stand in the company of the elders who are wise. Be ready to listen to every godly discourse. If you see an intelligent person, rise up early to visit them. Meditate at all times on YAH's commandments. He that walk with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And so I labeled that page, who to keep company with, and there are scriptures there pertaining to that. So next, I also keep definitions sometimes in my journals too. So here's one about the defining patience. As I said in the beginning of the video, sometimes I take notes of things I want to remember from books that I read that I want to keep in mind. And so I recorded a few thoughts from the book No Excuses by a man named Brian Tracy. So it says, in raising your children, there will be countless times when they will do or say something which you disapprove of or which makes you angry. During these times, you must discipline yourself to think before you act or react, controlling yourself and your temper. And he had some other things he wrote concerning that I thought were just real thoughtful. And so that's a few pages from this journal. Now, one of the newest journals I have right now that I'm writing in is this one. This was given to me by some family friends of ours. So, and let me see. I didn't get permission to show their names, so I'm gonna just cover it because I didn't get permission to show their names on the video. So I'm just gonna cover their name and let you see the date. And so you can see I started recording. I received this journal April of 2019. And I just have the Hebrew month and everything beside it. But April 2019 is when I received this journal. I have scriptures recorded. I have scriptures recorded here. This was from February of this year. And the first thing you see is a scripture The second portion is a saying or something someone said that I thought was really thoughtful. But the scripture on this page that I recorded February of this year is Isaiah 40:31, and it says, "But those who hope in Yah will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." And the saying at the bottom of it says, "Failure isn't about falling. Failure is about not getting up again. We must decide to continue living in our purpose and keep getting up again, no matter how many times things go wrong." It takes a strong spirit to keep flying when your wings are hurting. It takes a strong spirit to keep running, even when exhaustion runs deep through your bones. It takes a strong spirit to keep pressing forward, moving onward, and never giving up, no matter how impossible the fight seems. And so that was said by someone named Stephanie Rodney's. I'm not familiar with her, but I saw this saying somewhere, and I just thought it was real thoughtful. And so these were 3 of my own personal journals. I hope that this video has been helpful to you as you strive to live for Yahweh. If Yah's will, I'll do a faith video this week. It won't be of me speaking, but it'll be like a slideshow of scriptures to help you with your faith page. So I wish you well in the rest of your day. Shalom, shalom.